This is Darrell presenting Apple's Develop in Swift Fundamentals curriculum, Unit 3, Lesson 5, Enumerations. Enumerations exist in many programming languages. However, in Swift, they tend to be more powerful than enumerations in other languages such as C. Enumerations are value types. In the simplest form, an enumeration, which is defined with the enum keyword, lets us group related things into a type, such as the points of a compass, north, east, south, and west. Here is how we define an enumeration. We use the enum keyword, and then we give the name of our type, in this case, compass point. Because an enumeration is a type, we are using upper camel case for the type name. Then we have an opening brace, and then we have our list of cases, and then a closing brace. Each case starts with the case keyword and then the name of the case. For the case names, we use lower camel case. We could also put multiple cases on one line using a case keyword, and then we have each of our case names separated by a comma. Here's an example where we're creating a new variable compass heading. Compass heading is compass point.west. The compiler will be able to infer that compass heading is of type compass point, and because it's a variable, we could change its value later to be compass heading equals .north. Here's a second example where we set create a new variable compass heading. However, in this case, we explicitly define our type to be compass point, and then because we explicitly defined our type, the compiler understands that when we type .west, we mean compass point.west. We can switch on enum cases. In this case, compass heading is a constant. It is of type compass point. Its value is compass point.west. We switch on compass heading, and we have our cases. Switch statements in Swift have to be exhaustive, and this switch statement is exhaustive because compass heading has exactly 4 possible values. So we do not need a default case because we have an enumerated case for each of the 4 values. We can use the equals equality operator to determine if the compass heading is a particular value. In this case, we are testing if compass heading is equal to equal .west. It's because compass heading is of type compass point, the compiler knows we mean that the value is compass point.west. In this case, that would evaluate to the Boolean true, and we would execute I am heading west. We can use enumerations to try to avoid bugs due to simple typos. In this case, we have a genre. We have a parameter for our movie constructor, which is genre, which is a string, and we're supposed to be passing in animated. However, we're passing in a incorrectly spelled aminated, and that is not what we meant. That could result in a bug in our code. This is what's called stringly typed. We have a finite number of genres, but we are passing it in as a string, which has an infinite number of values. Because we know at coding time what all the genres are, we can use an enumeration to specify them. In this case, we have exactly 6 possible genres, and then we make our property inside the movie struct of type genre, and so our constructor, we pass in the enumeration. We can start typing .animated, and the compiler will give us code completion to help us finish up our enumeration. If we misspell it, the compiler will flag it as an error, and the compiler knows that we actually mean genre.animated, but because the genre parameter is of type genre, we can shorten it to just .animated, which makes our code easier to type and easier to read. If you are following along with the Apple curriculum, you can now open up the enumerations.playground and complete the lab exercises. This slide deck is published by Apple and is licensed by Apple under the Creative Commons Attribution Non-Commercial Share-alike 4.0 International License.